Have you ever wondered how long COVID patients navigate the complex world of Social Security benefits? It's a question that many of us might not think about until we are thrust into the reality of living with long COVID. But the truth is, this is not a local issue, it's a national concern. Every day, countless individuals who are grappling with the debilitating effects of long COVID find themselves denied the Social Security benefits they desperately need. They're left to fend for themselves, struggling to make ends meet, while battling an illness that has turned their lives upside down. This isn't just about financial support, it's about dignity. It's about acknowledging the reality of long COVID and the profound impact it has on people's lives. The denial of Social Security benefits to these individuals isn't just unfair, it's unjust. You might be surprised to discover the current laws that should support long COVID patients and how they are being overlooked or misinterpreted. In theory, our laws should protect and support long COVID patients, but what happens when they don't? Begin with the Social Security Act. It's a federal safety net that's supposed to provide benefits to people who are unable to work due to disability. As per this law, a person is considered disabled if they have a medical condition that prevents them from engaging in any substantial gainful activity for a period of 12 months or more. This should include long COVID patients who are unable to work due to persistent symptoms. However, the interpretation of this law has been somewhat skewed. Many long COVID patients are being denied benefits because their condition is not recognized as disabling under the current guidelines. Even though they have debilitating symptoms like extreme fatigue, cognitive impairment, and persistent shortness of breath that prevent them from working, their claims are often rejected. Then, there's the Americans with Disabilities Act. This law prohibits discrimination based on disability and should protect long COVID patients. But again, the interpretation is key. Because long COVID is a relatively new condition, there's a lack of understanding and recognition, leading to many patients falling through the cracks. Further, we have the Family and Medical Leave Act. It provides employees with up to 12 weeks of unpaid, job-protected leave per year for serious health conditions. Yet, long COVID patients often find themselves needing more time off than the law allows, with no protection for their jobs or income. To add to the complexity, many long COVID patients face a long and arduous process to have their condition recognized as a disability. They are often required to provide extensive medical documentation, which can be difficult when the understanding of long COVID is still evolving. It's a stark reality that while the law should be a safety net for those in need, it often falls short for long COVID patients. It's a situation that calls for greater awareness, understanding, and action to ensure that those suffering from long COVID receive the support and protection they truly deserve. Imagine battling a debilitating illness, only to find that the help you're legally entitled to is out of reach. This is the reality for many long COVID patients who are struggling to access the Social Security benefits they so rightfully deserve. These individuals are facing an uphill battle, not only against a relentless disease, but also against a system that seems to be failing them at every turn. Long COVID is a condition that's still not fully understood by the medical community. It's characterized by a range of symptoms that continue for weeks or even months after the initial recovery from the virus. These symptoms can include fatigue, brain fog, and difficulty breathing, all of which can make it incredibly challenging for patients to return to their regular lives, let alone work. Yet, despite the severity and longevity of their condition, many long COVID patients are being denied the Social Security benefits they need to survive. This isn't just a financial blow, it's a devastating emotional one too. Take, for example, the story of John, a single father of two who used to work as a construction worker. After contracting COVID, he was left with severe fatigue and shortness of breath that made it impossible for him to return to his physically demanding job. He applied for Social Security benefits, hoping it would provide some financial relief while he focused on his recovery. But his application was denied, leaving him and his children in a precarious situation. Or consider the case of Mary, a schoolteacher who loved her job, but had to leave it due to the debilitating effects of long COVID. She too applied for Social Security benefits, only to have her application rejected. Now she's left wondering how she'll make ends meet. These stories are not isolated incidents. They are representative of a larger systemic issue that's affecting thousands of long COVID patients across the country. It's an issue rooted in misunderstanding and misinterpretation, but its consequences are undeniably real and deeply unjust. The fight for justice and fairness for long COVID patients is a fight we all need to join. We must stand together, raise our voices, and demand that the rights of long COVID patients are recognized and respected. Because no one should have to fight for their health and their livelihood at the same time. So, what can we do to help long COVID patients claim the Social Security benefits they deserve? The first step, as with any fight for justice, is awareness. It's about understanding the plight of long COVID sufferers and the battle they're facing, not just against the virus, but against a system that's turning a blind eye to their struggles. Share this video, start conversations, write about it on your social media, or even just talk to your friends and family. The more people know, the louder our collective voice becomes. Remember, change begins with a single voice, and that voice could be yours. Next, get in touch with your local representatives. Write to them, call them, heck, even tweet at them. Let them know that you stand with long COVID patients and demand that they do too. Remind them that their role is to represent the people, and right now, the people need them to fight for the rights of long COVID patients. And while you're at it, why not lend your support to organizations that are already on the front lines of this battle? Donate if you can, volunteer if you have the time, or simply spread the word about their work. These organizations are doing incredible things, but they can't do it alone. They need our support, and every little bit helps. But most importantly, don't let the conversation end here. Keep talking, keep sharing, keep fighting. This isn't just about long COVID patients, it's about all of us. It's about creating a society where everyone, regardless of their health condition, is treated with dignity, respect, and fairness. If you or someone you know has been denied Social Security benefits due to long COVID, we want to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Together, we can fight for justice and change.